It's hashtag Waistline Wednesday. This is week number 6. It's Lori Stansel, your life strategist coach, and we are talking about every Wednesday, not about just only slimming down the waist and getting trim and slim, but also getting slim in our minds, dumping that emotional weight and moving forward in the things that we know we're supposed to do this year. Can you believe January is gone? We are smack dab in the middle of February. So I hope everything is going well. Check in with me. Write a comment below. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if this is helping you. How are you doing with your goals for this year? Are you making progress? Are you being consistent? Are you using your planner? I hope you are, because it keeps you organized and straight and keeps you on track and on point, and it helps you to stay accountable to yourself, more importantly. We're going to jump right in to this session. I'm very excited because this is another topic that I'm really passionate about. And it's around the topic or around the mindset of the idea of surrounding yourself with the right people. Having the right people in your ear, listening to the right people speaking into you, or allowing the right people to speak into you. You know, one of the ways that we become emotionally drained or even down or depressed is when we are depleted, when we're giving, but we're not taking time to receive. You know, Sabbath rest is something that many people practice, and it's more than just abstaining from certain foods or certain television shows. It's taking time to recharge, to reconnect with God, with your family, with those things that are important. And in that doing so, it recharges you emotionally and spiritually and physically. Do we do that? Do we make time to surround ourselves with people that are going to inspire us and recharge us? Or do we look up and we find ourselves completely surrounded by people that are negative, people that are speaking against those things that we desire to do and the things that we love? Now, let me stop right here, because I can hear some of you all shouting at me through this video screen. I'm not talking about surrounding yourself with people that will enable unhealthy habits and behaviors. I'm not talking about surrounding yourself with people that or removing yourself from people that are trying to help you, because a good friend is going to tell you the truth even when you don't want to hear it. However, it's how they say it. It's how they present it. It's how the manner in which they deliver it makes the difference between a friend that really is concerned about you and a hater in disguise. Okay? So let's get back to the topic now that we've clarified things a bit. So, are you taking the time to allow yourself to be around people that inspire you, people that make you want to keep going? Because remember what I said to you before in the previous weeks. You're going to fall down. You're going to hit that wall. Things are going to occur to you. And one of the ways that you get back up is not always going to come from internally. Sometimes someone is going to have to literally pull you up, because in that moment of your weakness, they're going to have to be your strength. They're going to be the ones that have to remind you, remember what you said, Lori? Remember what you said God told you? Remember what I believe in you, girl. Get up. And in that moment, they're going to have to assume the role that you are too weak to carry out in that moment. So surrounding yourselves with the right people is vital in staying focused, staying on track, and staying positive and keeping a mindset that's going to continue to motivate you to move forward. Well, what happens if the people that are around you are negative? What happens if they're in your family, right? You know, they say you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends. True. You cannot choose what family you're born into. However, you can still navigate that as well. I mean, there are people in your family that may not understand what you're doing. Many times, the criticism that we get from those that are closest to us comes from a lack of understanding. It comes from either their unwillingness or their inability to really listen to what you're saying or discern what you're trying to do. And sometimes, most of the times, when they're speaking to you in a criticizing way, it in their mind they're trying to help. Now, I'm not excusing it. I'm just trying to help you understand, because when you understand something, you can navigate it and you can leverage it and you can grow from it. But when you don't understand something, then it's more likely to destroy you or to delay you or to cause you to be denied. So understanding is important. It helps you to create and craft the right response in a given situation that will not work against you down the road. So many times when you're around people that are close to you, your family members that don't seem to understand, that are speaking to you from a negative space, that are discouraging you from doing those things that you want to do, you have to learn how to love them from afar. Oh, I said it. Yes, I did. Love them from afar. Now, today we're talking about keeping positive people around you. You don't cut them off. You don't stop loving them. You don't stop spending time with them. But you control that time in which you spend with them, and you control the narrative or the flow of the conversation when it relates to your life. I'm not saying become controlling. That's a whole different subject. Okay? I'm talking about taking the forefront of the conversation as it relates to you. So if you're around a family member and you know that they have some issues or they don't quite understand what you're doing, it doesn't make any sense to them, they kind of think it's a joke or whatever, and they start to ask you. Now, you know this based on past dealings, okay? So you're going in with understanding. Remember what I talked about? Understanding. You're going in with understanding. You're going in with your past experience, but you have to remember you're going in with love. So you go in this situation, they come to you and they say, so how are things going with that blah, blah, blah that you're doing? Now, remember, understanding, wisdom, principal thing. So what you say to them is, I'm doing very well. How are things going with you? You do not engage or attempt to go into great detail about what you're doing, because you know why? They're not asking because they really want to know. They're not asking because they're hoping that you're doing well. They're asking because they're trying to see if, one, you've stopped doing it, or two, you're not doing it well, so that it will give them justification to say whatever they want to say next. You don't want the conversation to go in that direction. You want it to stay in a positive direction, and you want to stay positive with them, because even though you may not agree or they may not understand where you're coming from, at the end of the day, they're still family. You still love them and you still respect them, and what you give out is what you receive. And so by you responding or controlling the narrative concerning your life, you are dictating in an unspoken manner how you want to be treated and how you expect to be treated. And after a while, things will shift. Either they will stop asking you or you'll talk about other things. But this is an example of how you can navigate those situations. Now, I have found in my experience that the right people come along when I need them at the right time. So you have to have yourself, your glasses on. You have to have your vision focused, because sometimes the support and the tribe of people that are going to feed you and pour into you may not look like you, may not sound like you. They may not have the same life experiences that you have. They may not have the same background that you have. However, they believe in you. They understand what you're saying, what you're trying to do. They've been where you're going, and they're willing to help you get there. So you kind of have to stay open to those individuals, because there might be people that you don't expect. And what's so amazing about life is that those individuals will fill in the gap in those areas that you need them. They'll be the ones that you can go to and lean on. They'll be the ones that will cheer you on. And sometimes the people that don't understand and criticize and are negative, sometimes they come around. Sometimes they look and they say, okay, I understand what you're trying to do and I support it. I've always supported you. I just didn't understand what you were doing because it was very different from what we've ever done as a group, as a family, or whatever. But sometimes they don't, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with the fact that they may not understand. But you have to stay focused on surrounding yourself, with people that are going to pour into you, that are going to believe in you, that are going to be the fuel for your inspiration so that you can stay motivated, so that you don't find yourself depleted. When you're around people that constantly don't believe in you or come at you from a negative standpoint or are criticizing you not constructively but destructively or destructively, I'm saying the same thing twice, but when you're around those kinds of people, your guard is always up and you're always on the defense mode because you always feel like you have to defend what you're doing or what you're saying or how you're doing it. And you know what? That becomes really exhausting. And if you're not refueling, if you're not finding a place where you're being inspired, if you're not staying in a place where you can be positive, you will be depleted. And pretty soon that will lead to you being despondent, discouraged, disillusioned, depressed, and just kind of just not wanting to do anything, just wanting to give up. So we want to be careful. We want to guard ourselves against that. We want to set things in place that will safeguard us from going off to the ditch on either side and just keep moving forward. So I'm glad this is helping you. Again, please share this video. If it's something that is really inspiring you and motivating you, share it with your friends. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to follow me on my Facebook page at facebook.com/thegoodlifewithlori. And please remember, I've got a surprise coming up for March. So you want to make sure you're following me so that you can get all the notices as they come out. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.